Yeah, enda ukaongea na baba yake ukaanza kutuletea hapo. Welcome to Life Saga TV. Again, we are into political analysis. Today, I've been able to get some chance, but I'll do just for 40 minutes because it's late into the night. Yesterday, we had a blackout. Of course, I did a post to show that, and I hope you saw that. So welcome once more. Let's just walk through 3 or 4 aspects. LITEIN drama, of course. Guys, the students nowadays are not the students we had long before. Ingia huko. Yeah, so welcome. LITEIN boys, of course, if all of you are watching on Sunday, there was a very big drama. I didn't manage to do an analysis that day. Now, let me ask you, why do you think we have now sagas in schools? One thing is that we have brought a lot of what we call democracy. Democracy has a positive side and has a negative side. With the negative overwhelming the positive sometimes, especially to immature people who do not know what to do with the democracy. If democracy is disturbing adults, what about young kids? Now, kids in school understand that they have to pick their own leaders. Sometimes they have even to speak about food. They have to go about parading and talking about teachers. This is one of the things that I hate currently, especially when it comes to teaching and in Kenya. Maybe in America, students have matured because democracy is a different aspect, and also the way freedom is handled or treated is different. But in Kenya, it came out, after the UN was fighting for the rights of kids. And of course, it started with doing away with the punishment, corporal punishment, and it went to other aspects, right? However, it is not same in schools, you know. So why, for example, do we have students striking so much these days? It's because they believe they have rights. And with the rights they believe they have, they equally want to counter what the policies and rules are. In our days, we used to study and we were given rules and we had to run by the rules. And we did so well in some ways, though I'm not saying that we were the best. But there are situations whereby schools did very well because students would be compliant. If you are told you come at a specific hour in school, you would go. If you are told you study even on Saturdays, you would study even without a teacher, and you wouldn't do anything wrong in school. Those are the days that we could not go around the school or maybe take the animals that belong to the school and, destroy them. I remember agricultural projects we used to plant. Maybe during our year we planted groundnuts. And when we harvested, the teacher told us, you either, if you maybe your parent has money, wants to buy, let them buy, or you have to give to the school because they are the ones who bought the seeds. You are just given little. And we did not argue. Now, recently, I remember there was an MP who came to our school and left some little money for the students. So the principal was actually buying time. M1 Rahin, welcome, and like the video, please. So of course, the principal was waiting. I don't know what her plan was because we didn't know and we could not ask. The smile man. Hi, welcome. Yeah, so do you know the students decided during assembly, they decided they are not going anywhere after assembly. So they were being asked, why are you not going? And they would just stand. At last they said they want their money. Can you imagine? The audacity in, oh. Yeah, so our topic of the day, of course, it's into the politics in Kenya. And there is this politics continuing in MALAVA constituency. Remember, there was a need to replace the fallen MP. And there was another candidate who came up and actually died before becoming the MP. And so far there has been a fight there, and there is something I'm going to talk about it. Away from that, there is a serious strike that happened in LITEIN boys, Kericho. Nothing of that sort has ever happened in Kenya. And then we are seeing some sort of betrayal between Raila Odinga and Ruto as normal, all right? Nerias Viava Gesevisio, a very difficult name, but unique. So thank you guys for coming on the platform. Like the video. We're going to take about 40 minutes here. We've already consumed our 5 minutes. We're left with 35 minutes. So welcome. Like the video. Remember to like the video. All right. Subscribe to the channel also if you're new. Like Nerias Vaiva looks like new. The smile man is saying politics very dangerous, madam, in our country, at also my country. Very dangerous, but it is what it is. Sometimes you just have to go flow with the vibe, all right? Yeah. So when we look at the matters, for example, of the school, that is LITEIN boys, I'm just wondering, where are we getting to as a country? The young people seem to have been so drunk with freedom and the rights that they are now deciding to destroy everything. So let's get to see a video. This is Kenya, Kenya for you. We are in Kenya, that's why I'm talking about places like Kericho and all that. So LITEIN boys drama was here on Sunday. Actually, people, we've not seen such a strike in a high school. You know, universities, we see such a strikes, but high school, the boys were to really destroy the staff room, destroy everything, including the staff quarters. They went to cook chapati in the teachers' quarters. That is just too much. Look at this. Look at this, guys. They even banned the dormitory. School cow like it was a radio. Now 8 teenagers face charges of arson, burglary, and malicious damage to property. LITEIN Boys High School is not just trending for destruction. It has become a case study in how discipline and disorder collide in Kenyan schools. On the night of September 21st, 2025, chaos erupted at LITEIN Boys High School in Bureti constituency, Kericho County. By 9 p.m., as a protest allegedly sparked by being denied the chance to watch a football match spiraled into one of the most bizarre nights in Kenyan education history. Flames tore through classrooms. All right. Okay. So when we look at LITEIN, Smile Man is saying Kenya is a nice place. My country, India, the great and mostly independent country, the world, madam. All right. Yeah, Kenya has been a very good country. We have just few messes that we are supposed to correct. Once they are corrected, of course, we'll have the best country, just as our ancestors believed we should have. But we look at the young people and how they are really practicing hooliganism and goon behavior. I don't understand, because recently, if you followed the case of St. George's in Nairobi, a student was being actually punished by a teacher. The student told the teacher, come to the light and show me what you have. Can you imagine? If you're a teacher, what would you do? What would you do? And if you dare do it, you don't know whether this student is trapping you actually to mobilize, maybe other students are there to help, or whether whatever is going to happen, but the audacity in So LITEIN, the other day on Sunday, they decided to actually go on a rampage. And during the strike, do you know what the students did? They had to even deal with the cow, the school cow. They broke the classes, the dormitory, and they went further to the teachers' quarters. Can you imagine? Just say this. Just too much, right? Too much. The administration block worth 18 million shillings was reduced to rubble. Look at that. And vehicles were vandalized.
Police were forced to fire tear gas to disperse the crowd. But this was not just about destruction, it was about absurdity. In viral videos,
Look at that. A student who is cooking chapati in the teacher's quarters when they are on strike. The audacity, the effrontery, the courage.
The principal's kitchen,
Look
wiping
at
up
that.
a Spanish omelette.
That is the principal's house. A student gets in there and begins to prepare the Spanish omelette. So when did this student decide that they would actually go to the principal's house and begin cooking? And even when there is a strike, where do you get such time? And the student is doing this, but they know that there's CCTV in place. Can you imagine? What a sad situation our nation is getting into. I'm just imagining when these students of this era, because I was trying to see Butere girls and then combination of LITEIN plus others, Georges, and the many other schools we've been mentioning. There was one case, yes, last year of Nakuru, if you remember the story. If these students actually will become citizens in the next 2 years, what will happen out there? Tell me. Because I'm looking at the student who is confidently frying omelette at the principal's quarters. I'm like, really? Really? All right.
This
is just too much.
Show. One cheeky voice bragged, quote, "Saa hii tunakula vitu za mamode kama mai na popcorn." Others cooked chapatis in the teachers' quarters, mocking the very authority they were rebelling against. Kazi tu ni kutumia vitu za mamode tu. Hizi zote. Cheki tu. Hizi zote. Tulisha expire from naona sawa vitu tunafanya. Unakula vitu za mamote, mapopcorn na mayai. Kuna nyama hapa wewe? Nyama hizo ni miguba na hiyo hakuna nyama hapo. As if that was not enough.
Can you imagine students getting into the principal's house and then they are cracking the eggs and frying the omelette, and then they go to the cows
here.
The
group paraded the school's prized cow, riding it around the compound like cowboys on a rodeo. By morning, the school grounds looked less like a center of learning and more like the aftermath of a riot festival.
This is a school. This is a school that I know. Actually, LITEIN is one of the best schools in terms of construction. It was built in the best way. But then when students went on rampage against the teachers, especially the authority, all they did was to bring down the school into rubbles, So the students strike as they do not want the principal, and then they bring down everything into rubbles. They get into the principal's office, prepare omelette, principal's house, that is. They prepare omelette, they even get into some other teachers' quarters, they prepare chapati, and they celebrate over it. Can you imagine? The audacity with which they had, the courage with which they had to bring down everything. It's such a surprise. Such a surprise. And too bad for us, because if students continue doing this, I don't know what we'll do. Can you imagine?
Tunakataa hii maneno ya kuchoma shule ama kuharibu chochote. Wacha kama niongee kama mzazi pia, tunakataa hii kitendo sababu imetuletea picha mbaya, na hii shule ndio inakuanga shule bora. 40,500 ya for 4 champions. Wakaenda na ya mkate 9,700. Wakaenda na for 4 champions kile 62,500. Wakaenda na bread kile 4,700. Eight na ya for 4 champions.
Yeah, now these students, the student went further to steal money from the account clerk office. That is the bursar's office. The students stole money from there, and away from that, they went away with a lot of goodies. Now I'm just imagining those who have been arrested. What will happen? Look at that.
The discipline must start at home. It's a call and a wake-up call for all the parents also, that we should know how to tame our children. We should know how to train them. The Bible is very clear that you train a child. Franklin Bett, who oversaw construction of the destroyed administration block in the 1990s. During Mike Kibaki's time, this building, I placed 18 million shillings. We were not able to finish towards the top, so we coordinated the parents to contribute. Night into violence. We are blaming also the security people. From what we got from the principal, he heard about the strike before midnight, and he informed the security people. But there was no security who entered the school compound. They were staying just.
Yeah, so you see, sometimes when strikes are going to happen, there are teachers who have a hint on what is going to happen, but maybe they may not reveal. However, LITEIN boys' case, it was known that something of this case was going to happen, but then the security did not act on it, right? I want to. All right, so looking at this matter, let's now go to Raila Odinga. All right, guys. So when you look at the Raila case, Raila RUTO case, of course, they came together in the broad-based government. However, considering the consistency in how Raila has been playing the game all the time, he has been there in the ballot box, and he has always lost, and he has always made sure he comes back in the handshake or broad-based or whatever they call it. Now, of course, currently people think that Raila and Ruto are going to collaborate to have one umbrella that is vying as the government. However, there are rumors that Raila is going to actually dump Ruto and vie as an individual. Now, the case comes from some of the reports that are actually unveiled by people like Sifuna. Let's check this video briefly.
Yeye anaongea mambo yake na Ruto. Mimi hiyo mambo yake mimi sijui, mimi niko na yangu. Mimi nasema chama cha ODM kikijiandaa vizuri 2027 tunaweza kutoa rais. Na hata huyu Joe anaweza, kwani hawezi? Things which have.
So from that report, actually, from what Sifuna gave, Sifuna is the spokesman of ODM, and when he says something, he's representing the rest. So when he said this, he was actually trying to communicate the fact that Raila Odinga might again be coming in 2027, or he may be having a candidate supported from ODM front. So as we wait, it is highly possible that Raila will be dumping Ruto when they are approaching the elections, because according to what Sifuna said, he can't just be speaking without knowing what he's saying. Anyway, let's listen from Raila Odinga also.
Let those things be discussed first. We are ODM. Who's told you that ODM will not have a candidate in 2027? Who has told you? So, think as ODM, we have a clear position. He wants it to go to ODM.
Yeah, so as they sit together, Raila and Ruto, the reality is that Raila Odinga is actually thinking of a candidate from his camp. And when people came up saying that ODM and UDA or Kenya Kwanza are uniting, he has come out to argue against that. Okay, and of course we have seen a lot of rumors, but there is a high possibility that ODM will not actually agree to be swallowed by Kenya Kwanza. They are possibly going to vie in this forthcoming election. Let's listen to this part.
Kalonzo ni kama yeye. Kalonzo ameshinda Bwana Ruto mara 10.
Sorry for the commercial break.
Yeye ni mtu mwaminifu. Hata mara hii ya mwisho hakuchaguliwa kama mgombea mwenza na yangu, lakini alibaki na sisi. Jamaa ana moyo, jamaa ana ukakamavu, jamaa ni mtu ambaye unaweza kumwamini. Yeye ni mtu mwaminifu, yeye tena ni mtu Mkristo, yeye ni mtu ana tabia ya ungingwana, ana upendo kabisa.
All right, so of course, in past we've seen Raila actually blowing a trumpet for Kalonzo Musyoka. So there is high possibility maybe under ODM there might be a lot of support for Kalonzo Musyoka at the same time. We are not very sure, but of course, there has been an attempt to actually buy Kalonzo Musyoka, and Murkomen has been given a lot of money to try and buy this candidate known as Kalonzo Musyoka because his potential is standing out currently at a very high level. However, Kalonzo Musyoka this time round has decided that he will not be a watermelon. Let's listen to this tape here and maybe make our guess from this.
Sifuna to Raila is like Angel Michael, a battle-ready titan. Sifuna will literally do battle with anyone, anywhere. Be on Citizen TV, a public. He killed Ishongwa's brilliant star. Ishongwa is somebody that was meant to go far, even farther than majority leader. But amemalizwa. Even just winning re-election in Kikuyu is a fallacy. So Babu Wino, watch, pray, and resist the devil by all means. And as you continue to resist the devil, all Tioka. And the only problem for this devil is that Kalonzo is a man.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so of course you've heard already Kalonzo Musyoka the other day while they were in Masai Land. No, they were in Kajiado. Yeah, they were in Kajiado. Kalonzo Musyoka came up saying that nobody will buy him. Yeah, nobody will buy him. Okay, so Murkomen has continued to leak and indicate that they are going to actually have a deal with the Kalonzo Musyoka. We do not know actually whether this is something of kind of propaganda that is being laid or whether it's true that they are going to buy Kalonzo Musyoka. But in Kenya, everything is possible. Let's listen to this first.
Ametuma viongozi wa makanisa akiwa hapa Metaboni. Amewatuma waje waongee na viongozi. I imagine nikiwemo mimi, ingawaji sina elective anything. Yeah. Ati tumekataa mipangilio yake ya maendeleo, ndio akatuma mabishop, maaskofu. Now first of all, let me give you a charge, Duncan, because now you see hiyo kofia kwamba wewe ni mtoto wangu. Don't fall into that trap. Yeah.
For president, of course, to defend his position is an AIC, and most likely the leader of the opposition running against him is AIC. So we want to say, please pray for us, all of us. Pray for all of us. And of course, assess what we can do. And if you find that you have the capacity to bring us together, bring us together. There is no
Murkomen mwenyewe. So Murkomen was actually here trying to defend the government and prove that Kalonzo Musyoka should work together with the government instead of supporting the opposition. All right. So that was from the other point of view on the other end. Now, meanwhile, the case on the fallen lawyer Chalo Mbobu continues. And currently, there's some secret that has been revealed out of the case, right? Let's look at this.
Murdering British businessman Campbell's court will remain arrested 3 suspects connected to the brutal killing of 17
suspect in the murder of Kasipul Member of Parliament Charles Ongondo Were.
When detectives can track killers through forest, follow footprints in the mud, drag culprits out of one-party state, the fight for multi-party democracy was to silence the evidence holder. Now let's walk through Kialo Mbobu's last hours. That evening, he met 3 men at Sagret Hotel, Muhia, Mbugua, and George Wainaina. Not strangers, neighbors, friends. In Karen, their homes are just meters apart. Morning jogs together, social visits, family ties. Why then would they choose a hotel meeting for matters they could easily discuss over a garden fence or a morning run? The DCI traced Mbobu's movements through CCTV, and the contradictions began. Wainaina said he only came to lunch with his nephew Mbugua, yet CCTV shows him handing over documents to Muhia. If it was a coincidence, why carry documents in the first place? In law, contradiction is a dangerous shadow. Even if you are innocent, a single slip, a single mismatch with evidence drags you toward guilt, and that is why all 3 men, Muhia, Wainaina, and Mbugua, were arrested. But, ladies and gentlemen, here is where the story bends sharply. At the heart of this web sits George Wainaina, not just a neighbor, not just a friend, but the Secretary General of KANU.
Alright, that is it. We can move to the last story of the day. Of course, into our political analysis today. I said I would not take a lot of time because it's late into the night, but I feel like I'll be compensating tomorrow and cover more, maybe 2 or 3 videos. I am not sure. But still, we have a lot of things to cover tomorrow. So let's see what will make it, and whatever will make it, we'll do it. And what we can't, we'll press to another day. Alright, so the last of our story was focused on what? We've already... Jerry Kinambuga, you are new here. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and also follow. So we've already, Paul Wekesa, like the video, follow, subscribe. Yeah, so Paul Wekesa, subscribe to the video. Gary Ginambuga, subscribe to the video, to the channel. Paul Wekesa, subscribe to the channel. Alright, so let's look into this. There is an aspect here. And first, last aspect. Our last aspect here is a political fight in Malava constituency. Of course, we've seen Malava constituency. Kibet FAROUK is a kind of spokesman of the government. So all the time he has been camping in Malava constituency after the fall of the previous Malala. And then recently we had the fall of the candidate who was targeting that seat in Jendi. And so after that, FAROUK was proposing his candidate. However, he was rejected. Of course, the brain behind rejection was we saw around 2 people who are very much against that. One of them being Boni Halwale. And apart from Boni Halwale, we also saw the writer, the theatric, who was so much against that. Let's listen to this. I want us to listen to this here. Politics is a hard game, guys. Very hard game.
My name is Ryan Njendi Mulungu, aka MALAVA. Thank you so much, Media Party, for this session. It's a privilege to have this session where we are oriented and taken through the process and how we are going to go digital. I must say it's a good step now that the world is going digital. It's good that we are having this digital.
All right. So, of course, we have seen Boni Halwale against that a lot. He did not want the imposition of a leader in this part of the country. So this is what Boni Halwale has been campaigning all the time. He's been talking against the aspect of Kibet coming to plant a candidate in Malava constituency. And they have been trying to emphasize that they should have somebody away from that, replacing Injendi, who just got lost the other day. So let's listen to him.
Anazunguka Malava Jumamosi, Jumapili, kila siku, mchana, usiku. Wewe asunguke hapa kwa sababu anatupenda. Anazunguka hapa kwa sababu wameingiza baridi. Vile sisi tulipatia rais kura na rais kazi yake bado kuonekana, wako na wasiwasi kwa sababu wanametea mate kiti ya Malava ya marehemu Mheshimiwa Malulu Injeni. FAROUK, sikia vizuri sana. Kiti ya Malulu Injeni, Mungu ndiye alisema ndugu yetu alale. Hatuna furaha kwamba tulipoteza mheshimiwa. So Wanami amesema kwamba rais ametangaza barabara ya kutoka pale Malava town ifike Samisi yende mpaka Navaholo. Ilikuwa
So guys, remember that road has been just a very, very poor road for a very long time. But now they are using that road as a manipulation way. You know, in Kenya, we have manipulation as a form of corruption. If people want to gain your hearts into a certain candidate, they come around with deals such as power, water, electricity, roads, markets. So that is what they are using as a strategy to campaign for the candidate they want to impose in Malava. Because when you look at the road from Malava to all the way to Navaholo to the other end, it has been a poor road. In fact, at some point, it looks like a whole piece of land where people should just plant crops and, wait for the harvest. It has been a bad, bad road until the vehicles we choose to ply on it no longer want to. However, currently, because they are interested in the candidature of the MP from that side, now they are claiming they are ready to do the road. Good, let them do it. But then, imposition of a candidate has been rejected by the people who see ahead. Because 2027 is coming. This is a strategy to actually prove something about the people. Anyway, but it's the politics of Kenya, And we can talk about it all along. Of course, Oscar Sudi, the other day, you remember how he had to chase a chief priest at his aunt's ceremony. Is it a funeral? If you watch the video, you did watch it. But it was so shocking. If you didn't watch, maybe you can finish like this one.
A funeral turned into a political battleground. Kapsaret Member of Parliament Oscar Sudi, known for his unfiltered style, clashed with a Catholic priest over who gets to speak at his aunt's burial. But why? And what does this say about the state of Kenyan politics? Buckle up, because we are diving deep into the latest chapter of Sudi's controversy.
Ninaomba utuitie Father, mwambie hatuna maneno, ni wakati tu tunapambania na hakuna mtu aliye na uwezo ya kuzuia majira isikimbie. So sisi tunahitaji kuongea, yeye anahitaji misa, mwambie tunampenda, anaweza tuunga pamoja.
Ya kanisa ni watu. Kama hatungekuwa na watu hapa, hata nyinyi hamwezi pata watu ya kuhubiria. Kwa hivyo muwe kwa wingi kabisa, na lazima saa ingine tunapewa heshima, sababu tunapea hata hawa heshima. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki.
Ninaomba hivi tusikosee kanisa heshima, kwa sababu hata mwenye anaongea ukifa utazikwa na kanisa.
Najua nilipatia Catholic pesa.
Mheshimiwa Sudi, hii jambo si geni. Unajua wewe ni mediator yangu na Father Godius. Siku ingine tumepitana na Father Godius kwa maneno kama hii. Ile siku mlikuja mazishi ya babangu Kirwa na Father Godius akaniharakisha na tukalimana na tukaagree tutakutana mbinguni tusikutane duniani.
Now let's rewind. Oscar Sudi isn't new to controversy. This man who rose from humble
Alright guys, so those are the controversies that we've traveled through today, and I'll end here. Let's meet tomorrow for another discussion. I really appreciate your presence here. Have a good night. For those whose moment is a day time, have a nice day. Let's meet for another analysis. Today I just rushed through because I did not actually have a humble time. I had to go to hospital to deal with matters here and there. The whole day I was also busy. Yesterday we had a blackout, so bear with me. Otherwise tomorrow is another day. Good, adios.